Hi there everybody. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to install the light guns on your upright arcade machine. Now this is going to be for both the 4-player and the 2-player arcade machine. It's going to work exactly the same way. You just have a wider control panel on the 4-player to accommodate the 2 extra players. But all in all, it's going to be the exact same steps. Now for this process, you're going to need both a Phillips head screwdriver and a flathead screwdriver. The Phillips head is going to be so that way you can install the holsters. As you can see right here, we're going to go over how to install those on the side as well. And then at the end of the video, we're going to be just going over how to calibrate them and some basic troubleshooting. So before we actually install the light guns, we're going to go ahead and install the holsters for the light guns, so that way we have a place to rest the guns while we're installing them. Now, in the 2 that you get, you'll want to make sure that this little bar is facing towards you. So using that, we'll know that this is going to be the one that's going to be installed on the right side. This is going to be for the 2nd player, the one with the red sticker on it. And when you got your holsters, inside there should have been a little baggie with the small screws in here. And this is the step you're going to be using your screwdriver. But in this case, just to make it a little bit faster, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using a power drill. Now, if you're also have a power drill and you want to go ahead and use it, I just recommend you keep it at the lowest torque setting, so that way you don't damage any of the threads on these metal inserts on the side of your machine. So that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and start installing it. Now it's pretty straightforward. It's just the 4 screws, so nothing complicated or anything like that. All right, and so once you have one, you'll be able to then move this up and then make sure all the other holes are aligned. And sure enough, right there. So now you're good to do the rest. Just like that, you have your holster installed. It's very firm in there, not going anywhere. And as you can see, right over here, I have the 2nd player gun. That's just gonna sit right in there. And as you can tell with that bar facing forward, it's not gonna tilt out or anything like that. It's gonna stay resting there. And for the left one, for the 1st player gun, you just wanna repeat this process. It's just gonna be the 4 screws going into the metal inserts, just like this. And yeah, it's pretty straightforward. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the actual installation for the light guns. So now we're going to be installing the light guns. We're going to be starting with the 1st player light gun first. And before we do anything, we want to go ahead and remove this stopper. It's going to be this little plastic barrel that's attached to your wire. Now the purpose of this stopper is to make sure that the wire doesn't get completely yanked out of where it's connected on the bottom. So if you have your wire running down here, you want to place the barrel near the top, so that way on the inside, if this gets yanked, let's say by the kids are running around and they accidentally pull on it a little bit too hard, this stopper is going to be on the inside of the machine, stopping it from being disconnected, so that way you don't have to go inside and reconnect it again or damage anything at all. So I'll show you real quick how to do this. Now you want to make sure you find the clip right there in the middle, and using the flathead screwdriver, you want to get to the top, and just like that. Let me go ahead and show you guys again. So here it's closed and clipped, and so we're going to take our flathead screwdriver, and just like that, it's going to come undone. And so we're going to go ahead and put that off to the side. And then when you insert your wires through the little hole, you want to do them one at a time. So if you have the 2 ends, you're going to put one off to the side, and we're going to be putting the USB in first. And so right over here is going to be the hole. We're going to put that USB in first, and then following it is going to be the little adapter on the side. And the reason you do that is because they can't fit in at the same time. So you just want to do them individually, one at a time. So now go ahead and grab your key. We're going to go ahead and open this door right here. And let me just go ahead and grab the camera so I can show you guys up a little bit closer. But you'll see over here on the left side of the coin collector, you're gonna see two power adapter wires right there. And so here's the end of our light gun, the wire that we fed in through the top right there. So you just wanna go ahead and connect this to either one of them, doesn't matter which. Okay, and then over here, it might be a little hard to see at first, but if you just reach your hand over underneath that lip, you're gonna have two USB ports right here. Now yours are gonna come labeled red and blue, so you wanna just connect your guns to its respective colors. So right now, because we're doing the first player gun, you would choose the blue one. But in this case, I'm just gonna go ahead and choose this one right here. And it's pretty straightforward. You just plug that in. There we go. And just like I was mentioning before, here you have that little barrel. I accidentally closed it, so let me go ahead and reopen it again. There we go. And so you just want to go ahead and pull a little bit of the wire out, make sure you know where you want to put it. So right here is the most I can pull this out until it starts tugging on it. So then I want to loosen it up, give it about a couple of inches more in there. And then right here, I'm going to be attaching the barrel back onto the wire just like that. So now when I pull it, as you can see, it's just stopping it from being pulled all the way. All right, now you just want to go ahead and repeat this step for the second player gun, and at that point you're already halfway done. And so now when I go ahead and close the door, you'll see you have the gun, but then you have all this excess cable down over here. That's okay. If you go ahead and bundle it up, you're gonna have a hook right there underneath your control panel, and you can go ahead and just hang the excess wire on that hook, so that way you don't have any wires dangling down on the bottom. Okay, so now for the second player gun, we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing we did for the first player gun. So very quick, we're going to remove the barrel right here. There we go. Then we're going to feed the cable. So using one at a time. It's the USB and the power adapter. Okay, and so now we're going to feed it all the way to the bottom over here. And we're going to connect the power adapter, and we're going to get the USB with the red label on it on your machine. We're going to plug that in, and now on the top right here, we'll pull it through, attach the barrel right there, give it a tug. There we go. It's not being pulled, and there you are. Now you have both light guns installed. So now in the next segment, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the machine, and we're going to test them both out. We're going to see if the aim is accurate on both of them. Now already before every upright leaves the warehouse, we always make sure we calibrate the light guns on every machine. So if you are testing out the guns, seeing that the aim is accurate, then you're all set, you're ready to play your game. But if you're seeing that the aim is not accurate and it's just not consistent at all, then I'm going to walk you through how to calibrate the light guns so that way you can do it. Okay, so now that we have both of our light guns installed, I went ahead and turned on the machine, and I'm just going to go over a couple of guidelines so that way you can make the most out of your light guns. So let me go ahead and take the first player one out. Now you want to make sure you're using the light gun more than 3 feet away from the screen, because any shorter, you'll see right here, the aim is just going to be off. I'm pointing over here to the bottom left, and right now it's on the middle right there, as you can see the cursor right here. But as we start to move farther away, you'll start to see that the movement of the cursor on the screen is going to be a lot smoother, and it's going to be very accurate. You can look down the barrel of it, and you'll see the cursor is going to line up with the iron sight right here at the end of the barrel. All right. And if this is not the case, then I'm going to show you right now how to calibrate the gun. So right here on the main menu is where you want to be to start the calibration. And now to start the calibration, you want to make sure your aim is within the 4 sensors. And so that just means you can see the cursor on the screen. So if you can see the cursor on the screen, you want to go ahead and press this button right here for a couple of seconds. This is going to be on the right side of the gun, and it's going to be the front button right here. So make sure your aim is at the screen, and as you can see, once we hold it for a couple of seconds, the cursor is then going to move to the middle of the screen. Now the way the calibration works, it's going to have the cursor on a fixed point on 5 different spots of the screen, and you want to go ahead and aim your gun at it and shoot it so that way the machine is calibrated to your aim. And so you're going to start right here at the middle, and you're going to see the cursor has now jumped to the right side. And so now we're going to do it again, line up the aim, and then it's going to go up, same thing, go ahead and line it up. It's going to be the left, and then finally at the bottom. So now, as you can tell, it's following it, and of course you have that solenoid kickback feedback in the gun as well. So that only is activated when you're pointing at the screen. So as you can tell right now, you pull the trigger and you will not feel it, but as the aim then starts to work its way into the sensors, you'll start to feel the kickback. And so we know that this gun is fully functional and is working exactly how it should. We have the mouse moving around on screen, and we have the feedback working on the gun as well. And so let's go ahead and try this with the second player gun. Okay, so it's going to be very similar. You're going to have the cursor appear on the screen, and as you can see, it's following it with my movement. There's no need for calibration, but I'm just going to go over the steps again just so that way you guys know what's up. So we're going to go press and hold this button at the front. It's going to work exactly the same way. So then you want to just shoot the 5 points your cursor is going to move to. And this calibration only works on the main menu. So if you're in the middle of the game and you find that your aim is off, you'll want to then exit the game so that way you can calibrate the gun on the main menu. This is where it's going to be taking place. And so as we can tell, aim is working just fine, and you want to make sure you're a good distance away from the screen. Any closer, and as you can see, the aim's just going to start going all over the place. This is too close for the machine. You want to have it 3 feet and further. And then right there you can tell already you're going to have just a lot more of a smoother experience the farther back you move. So yeah, that's going to cover the calibration portion of the light guns and just testing them out so that way you know both of your light guns are working the moment you turn on your machine. Alright, so now that we have everything set up, I'm just going to cover one of the most common issues we have with the light guns, and that is one of the guns is not registering. So what I mean by this is that you'll have the other gun which works completely fine. You'll be able to point your gun and aim, and you'll be able to move the cursor around the screen, but the other one is not having the cursor appear on screen. You'll move it around, but you won't see the cursor on screen. You'll still be able to feel the feedback in the gun as you pull the trigger, so you know the gun is working, but it's just not registering on the screen. Now, if it's gonna, whether it's the blue or the red one, you're gonna have the wires labeled on the inside. So you wanna go in through the door, all right? And you just wanna find the connections to that gun. So one of them is gonna be down over here by the bottom. As you can see, we have both USBs over here. And so you just wanna unplug them and replug them into these. So you're gonna find either the red one or the blue one, whichever one you're having issues with, and you want to unplug and replug them here. Now, if this is also not solving the issue, then we just want to go and do the same thing, but over here on the computer board, because these are just USB extensions running from the computer board down over here, so that way everything is all plugged in at the same spot. So over here, you will also have the cables labeled with a red or blue sticker. And so you just want to disconnect them
And then oftentimes, you know, sometimes you'll just blow into there if there's a little dust or something like that. You know, if you grew up in the 80s and the 90s, then you should kind of just be used to this. You know, it's kind of like the same concept as blowing into an NES or SNES cartridge, even N64. Sometimes if the games just didn't want to start, you would take it out, blow on them, and then putting them in, it works like magic. It just works. And so even sometimes you'll see right over here, you'll have a couple of extra, like right behind that one I just unplugged. You had another USB port right over here. So if you have extra USB ports, go ahead and then plug that into that one. They're all gonna work the same way. But yeah, all we did was relocate this one from right over here to up here, and then from there you can go ahead and reset the machine and then try it out. And 99% of the time, that's gonna fix the issue, and you're gonna be able to use both guns and they're gonna work exactly the same. Okay, so basically, just make sure you unplug and replug the USB connections coming from the light gun to that extension cord, and from the extension cord to the computer board. All right, pretty straightforward. Thank you for watching the video and have a great day.